Welcome back. Security cameras seem to be everywhere you look these days, but one place they are not is in many nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Just this week, a Venice woman was arrested in a care center abuse case.
Stephanie Steifert is on a mission to protect patients in those facilities by installing cameras in locations where loved ones and facility managers can protect the safety of the patients. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What inspired you to run so hard on this campaign?
My mother was diagnosed with dementia probably about 2014, 2015. And at that time, I started going up there every weekend, spending every weekend in summers, and that progressed to where we needed to move them to Bradenton. So they liquidated where they lived and moved to Bradenton, and it eventually graduated to where we had to live together in a condo together with my mom and dad. And she was in the severe late advanced stages of dementia. So the last episode was that it took us an hour and a half to get her off the living room floor of a stranger's home. So we had to call police to come Baker act her. That was never our intention. And so she went to the hospital, and they tried to find a place to place her. They eventually put her at a facility. Before she got there, I called them 3 different times and asked to put a camera in the room because she had never been in a nursing home, and her rule was you do not leave a loved one in a hospital room or a nursing home room by themselves. So I did my due diligence and persisted to get a camera to just kind of help watch her. It was 2021, so the facility was still following COVID protocol, so we were not allowed to see her. And so I actually escorted, they didn't know it, I got in my car and escorted my mom from the hospital to the facility just to make sure that I was doing my part to take care of her. And they called us about a week and a half in and told us that she had reported falling in the middle of the night. She had been assessed by a neurologist prior to that, where she couldn't identify a pyramid or a key. She had no clue how to label those things. She couldn't tell you that turkey was on her plate. But they said she self-reported falling. So my father and I and my daughters were very, very intricate in taking care of her during the day while I worked. And then I was there at the place at home at night. So after she was placed there and they called and said that, we were able to go see her. And I did see bruising on her head, her shoulder, her elbow, and her wrist. And you know, it just was bruises. I didn't think to look in private areas. So we took her home as soon as we could. She was there for 3.5 weeks. That was never our intention to make it long term. And so I gave her a great meal and I bathed her, which I had been doing for 2 years. I don't have a cosmetology license, but I was also cutting her hair routinely. And when I gave her a bath, I noticed signs of bruising that was in an area that was alarming. So the next day I took her to the doctor. The doctor immediately said, call the police and file a rape report, which we did. We went to the hospital. We spent 5.5 hours at the hospital in the emergency room so she could be evaluated by SANE nurse, that's sexual assault nurse examiner. And the problem is that from the time of the self-reported fall to that doctor visit, the DNA was gone.
Oh.
And so no one will ever be held accountable for the use of my mother's body.
So she was raped while she was in there?
The sexual assault is the terminology that I need to use.
So you started battling to have cameras put in nursing homes.
Yes,
where would you have these cameras put?
So a short while, we tried to have Mom home, but my father was dying of pulmonary fibrosis. So I had my father dying and my mother with Alzheimer's. And we ended up finding Brookdale Point West, which allowed us to have a camera. So Mom lived there for a few months before she passed. And the camera was placed, you walked into the door, you saw the camera mounted on the wall. And I had signs on the door with their permission that you can install audio and visual recording in progress. And the video camera was at an angle that watched the whole room.
Okay, that's very good. So what would you like to happen now? This is not against Florida law to have the camera, but it is against a lot of facilities' rules. So you want that changed. How can we change that?
We need to give, the law needs to give families the undeniable right to place a camera to watch over their loved one. The important part is that the family has to call the cable company. They have to install the technology to install this electronic device. The family needs to take complete ownership to repair, to place, everything. There is a law, Senate Bill 1486, that was on the floor last year in 2023 that died because no one was interested in picking it up. It does need a counter law on House side in order to go through to the governor to get signed. So what we need is legislation to understand that families need that undeniable right.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we can make a difference. Thank you so much, and right now we do need your help. You need to get in and make a difference by going to get these cameras installed. You can contact your government officials at flsenate.gov and also